There. Okay, that's nice. Right. Yeah. So if you remember from the lecture, we were talking about how you put up these textures, and you need to when you have this texture here, you will have to connect this UV space to your primitive some way, right? In this slab, it will be a quad instead of a triangle. But basically, you have to assign points from this UV space onto these different nodes, and yeah. And you have to set attribute pointers and those sort of things. So it's more or less the same as you've seen before, only that you now have to add some extra numbers. I think that it's already set up with position and color, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's always a good idea to just set the colors. If you set them to white, you get exactly this color that you have on the texture. If you set them to something else, you get some other colors and so on and so forth. Yeah. So basically you set up that, and you have to set up the VBO. You have to extend that with, now we have X, Y, R, G, D, and then you have to extend it to put on these new V coordinates and set up those things. And then you have to load the texture, and that you do by loading from the file. I haven't said exactly how to do it because it's one of the lab tasks. Then you create a texture buffer, as I told on the lecture. You basically do follow this code. Gen textures bind. You generate the texture, you bind it, and you bind it to a 2D target, which is important since you're working on two-dimensional images here. And then setting up this function here that feeds the data into this buffer is also a part of the lab task. And then you have to do something with the shaders. I won't go into details, you can figure that out yourself, but you need this uniform sampler, and this 2D number here has to correspond to your target, or else it messes up. Okay, yeah, so here's just one example, I think. So you may also have to set these parameters if they're not already set. These are they set in the basic? This GL linear GL, these filtering functions.
You have to set them.
Okay, yeah. So that's a good idea to set them too. So here it's nearest, it's probably better to choose, for example, linear there to get. I don't think it necessarily matters for this particular case, but anyway, this should be set. Right. So then these tasks are basically laid out point by point here. So you start by just downloading the code as we've done from before. From this page, right, you have links here, instructions, code, so on and so forth. And then basically you have to put up this quad, but it's index drawing here, so you need to put up this index array as well. And then you have to sort of consider in which order you read these different nodes, and so on and so forth. Yes, set up the VBO, basically said that already. After you've done that, you should have this white quad here. Then load and set up textures, as I said, and then fix the shaders. Yeah, and finally you have to set up the VAO attributes. You have a new attribute here, UV. So set up that in the same procedure as you did before. And then you could, animate this somehow. So for example, if you do it this way, you should get this one, which is basically just wiggling a bit back and forth. Or you may try different things if you'd like to. You can try to keep eye contact with it for 15 minutes and see how we feel. Anyway, that's a joke. Yeah, so this is mainly the one. The point is that if you have the colors to white, it will look exactly like the image does. If you put some other colors on it, let's see, you will get something like that, for example, but it's not a big deal. And if you should somehow finish that, or would like to sort of look a bit more into similar things as you also do on the assignment, you can take this sprite sheet, which let me see if I find it here. It's on the resources, I guess. Yeah. So you have this sprite sheet here, which you may load, and then try to animate it. So something like that, for example. Make it seem like it's running. But that's if you get time beyond setting up this cat. And, yeah. So basically this is a sort of preliminary for the assignment to sort of get this into your finger. So I would recommend to get that cat up just to get this up on the simple example. And this is something similar you're going to do in the assignment, basically. So I think that's it. Any other comments? Sorry?
It's working. So
Great. Yeah. Good. Any questions?
Is there a geo create texture?
Yeah. You can use that as well, if you like. Yeah, I think that's it.